Detachment is not that you should own nothing, but detachment means nothing should own you. Buddha. Friends, today's story is going to be life-changing for you. A story that challenges everything you think, everything you know about value, possessions, and what it truly means to be rich. A story that will change the way you see the world around you. By the end of this video, you'll discover a truth that could shift your entire perspective on what you really own. In a quiet village, there lived a Zen master. He was a wise man known by everyone in the village, but he owned very little. He was living a very simple life. He has a small hut with a mat to sleep on, a small table, and a window that let in the moonlight every night. Yet, despite having so little, he was the happiest man anyone knew. Why? Because he understood something most people don't, and that was that real happiness doesn't come from things. It comes from peace of mind and a heart free from greed. But in the same village, there was a man who lived a very different life. He was a thief, always searching for more and more money, more things, more of everything. But no matter how much he took, he was never satisfied. One night, this thief decided to rob the Zen master. He thought, surely this wise man must have something valuable hidden away. So, he sneaked into the village. He planned to steal whatever he could find. The night was dark and quiet, and the thief made his way to the Zen master's house. He was very excited. He thought, tonight I will finally find something worth stealing. He pushed open the door and slipped inside. The room was dark. A stream of moonlight was coming through the window. He looked around, expecting to find hidden treasures. But as his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he saw nothing. Just a simple mat on the floor, a small table, and an empty room. He searched every corner, every drawer, looking for anything of valuable like jewels, gold, or even a hidden stash of money. But as he searched, he found nothing but simple, ordinary things. The thief felt a surge of frustration. How could this man have nothing? How can a man live so simply and yet be known for his wisdom? As he was about to leave in anger, he heard a calm voice from the darkness. Looking for something? The voice asked. The thief froze. The Zen master was awake and sitting calmly in the corner of the room, watching him. The thief got afraid. He had been caught. But instead of shouting or calling for help, the Zen master simply smiled. He softly said, "You must have come a long way. You must be tired and cold. Here, take this." To the thief's surprise, the Zen master stood up, took off his robe, and handed it to him. The thief was stunned. He had come to steal, but here, he was being given something freely. He didn't know what to say. "I'm sorry, I have nothing else to give you," the Zen master continued in his gentle voice. "But please, take this robe to keep yourself warm." The thief took the robe, still in shock. He couldn't understand why the Zen master wasn't angry or afraid. The thief couldn't believe it. He thought, how can someone be so calm when I'm trying to take everything from him? He was confused and a little embarrassed. The master's peaceful reaction was the opposite of what he had expected. The Zen master gently explained, "You may take these clothes if you need them, but I want to give you something more important. True wealth is not found in things that can be stolen. It is found in the heart, where you can never take anything away. By taking these clothes, you gain nothing but material possessions, which are just temporary." As the thief listened, he began to understand. He saw that the master was not upset or afraid, and this made him think deeply. He realized that the master was richer than he had ever known. He was rich in peace and wisdom. Now the thief was more curious than ever. He asked, "Why are you not angry with me for trying to steal from you? Don't you care about your belongings?" The master smiled gently and replied, "Anger comes from wanting, to hold on to things too tightly. When you let go of what you think you own, you find peace instead." The thief wasn't satisfied with just this answer. He asked, "But how can I let go of things? Isn't it natural to want and hold on to what we have?" The master nodded and said, "Yes, it's natural to desire. But true freedom comes when you understand that nothing lasts forever. By accepting this, you can find peace regardless of what you have or don't have. Just imagine a tree with many leaves. Each leaf is beautiful, but when the wind blows, the leaves fall. The tree doesn't hold on to them, it lets them go. In the same way, you should see your possessions not as things to cling to, but as temporary. When you stop clinging, you stop suffering," he said. "The things you own end up owning you. You'll have to detach yourself from your desires and fears. When you're attached to something, you're afraid of losing it. This fear creates unhappiness. But if you learn to appreciate things without clinging to them, you'll find that you're happier and more at peace. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. Rather, it means you understand the true nature of things. Think of a river. It flows freely. It takes away whatever comes in its path, but it is never stuck on anything. If it held onto every stone, it would be blocked. Just like the river, you should let go of what you can't keep, and in doing so, you'll move through life more freely." The thief realized that he had been trying to fill an empty space within himself with material things. He never understood that this emptiness could only be filled by letting go of his attachments. He saw the wisdom in the master's words and understood the concept of true freedom. He realized that true wealth could not be stolen or bought, but was something much, much deeper. So what have we learned from this story? At first, it seems like a tale about a monk who got robbed. But if we dig deeper, we see it's actually about a much more profound lesson: the concept of detachment. The Zen master's calm reaction to the thief's attempt to steal wasn't just about his personal peace. It was a powerful lesson on how to live a life free from the pain of attachment. In the story, the thief sought material possessions. He believed that this would bring him happiness. But the Zen master showed him that true happiness and freedom come from letting go of our attachment to things. The master's reaction and words challenged the thief's and our understanding of what truly brings fulfillment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about anything. It means understanding that everything is temporary. Just like the leaves on a tree or the flowing river, all things come and go. When we become attached to things, we fear losing them, which creates suffering. But when we learn to let go, we find freedom. Think about your daily life. How often do you find yourself worried about losing something? It might be a job, a relationship, or a favorite possession. These attachments can cause stress and anxiety. Practicing detachment means appreciating what you have without clinging to it, understanding that its value doesn't define your happiness. In a way, we are all like thieves. We cling too tightly to things or desires. Just as the thief in the story sought material possessions to fulfill his desires, we often chase after wealth, success, approval, status, or even relationships in hopes of finding happiness or security. But in doing so, we steal moments of peace and joy from ourselves by focusing too much on what we lack or what we wish to have. Our attachments to material possessions or specific outcomes prevent us from experiencing true contentment and peace within ourselves, and leads us towards endless desire and dissatisfaction. So, how can we practice detachment in our own lives? Start by identifying what you are attached to. It could be a job, a lifestyle, a relationship, or material possessions. Ask yourself, why am I so attached to this? What happens if I lose it? Shift your focus from these things to the present moment. Appreciate what you have without clinging to it. For example, if you love a particular item, enjoy it, but understand that its value doesn't define you. If you face loss or change, remind yourself that this is a part of life, not a cause for suffering. When you practice detachment, you start to experience several benefits. First, You'll feel less stressed because you're not constantly worried about losing what you have. You'll also find more joy in the present moment. You'll appreciate things for what they are rather than what they could be. Detachment helps you build resilience as you become more adaptable to changes in your life. Moreover, detachment can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships. When you let go of expectations and attachments, you can connect with others more genuinely. You're not focused on what you can gain, but on sharing and experiencing life together. Remember, detachment is not about renouncing everything or becoming indifferent. It's about finding a balance where you appreciate and enjoy life's blessings without letting them control your happiness. It's about understanding that true contentment comes from within, not from external things. As you go through life, try to apply the lessons from the Zen master. Recognize the temporary nature of material things and focus on finding peace and joy in the present moment. By practicing detachment, you can live a more fulfilling and peaceful life, free from the stress of clinging to things that ultimately don't define your happiness.